Dear friends, welcome to Quest for Knowledge. In today's video, we will discuss class and object concept of Python. So let's see how we use class and object in Python. Python is a object-oriented language, and when we talk about object-oriented language, we have concept of classes and objects. Basically, a class represents real-world things and situations. In a class, we bind state and behavior of a component, and that component in programming language is known as object. So basically, class is a user defined data type, as we defined our own functionality inside a class, and based on class we create objects. It means a class provides template or blueprint for an object. A class contains data members and function definitions. As I said earlier, a class binds state and behavior of a component. So state of a component is defined using data members or variables, and this is also known as attribute of the class, and member function handle the behavior. So using member function and data members, we define state and behavior of a component. In Python, we create class, and to create class in Python, we use one of the keywords, and that is class, CLASS. It must be used as it is. All letters must be in lowercase. And attributes of the class are the variables defined inside class. Functions that belong to class are known as methods, and we can use dot notation to call any method defined in class, as we have seen in earlier videos how to use dot notation. If you want to see how to use dot notation, you can refer the link given in the description box. And one thing we need to notice is every method call associated with a class automatically passes self, and this self is a reference to the instance itself. And syntax to create Python class is very simple. First we write class keyword, and then we write class name, then we put colon, and after this colon we define member functions. And how to define functions we have seen in earlier videos. If you haven't seen those videos, I would recommend you to watch those videos for better and clear understanding of functions. Here we have one Python class. So class, any class in Python starts with class keyword. So class here is a Python keyword. Then we write class name, and it can be any valid identifier name. Then we put colon, and then definition starts. So here we have one member function with name take input, and every functions start with def keyword, as we have seen in earlier video. Here one thing we need to notice is every member function takes self as first parameter, and then we can pass another parameter also. So the first parameter of every member functions must be self, and then we close parenthesis, and then we put colon. Then we write definition of member function. So here definition is we are assigning value of name and age according to user input. We are taking input from user, and we are assigning to these two attributes. Here name and age are attributes of this particular class, and attributes of the class we are writing with this particular self dot name. So here name is one of the attribute, we are writing it as self dot name. Here age is another attribute of the class, and we are writing it as self dot age. That means here instance, and then we are referring attribute, instance, and then we are referring another attribute. So here we are assigning two attribute of the class. And how to take input from user, how to convert it into numerical value, we have seen in earlier videos. If you haven't seen those videos, You can watch those videos for better and clear understanding. Then another member function we have, and with the name display. It starts with def keyword as it is a function, and first parameter of every member function must be self. So here self is the parameter, and then we put colon, and then we write definition of this particular display function. So here definition is we are printing value of these two attribute of the class, and how to print value we have seen in previous video. So you can watch that video for better and clear understanding. And definition of this particular class ends here. So in this particular class we have two member functions. One is take input and another one is display, and first parameter of each member function must be self, and we are referring attribute of the class with this self dot notation. So we put dot notation to refer class attribute. Then we are creating object of this class, and how to create object and how to create instance. We first write object name or instance name, then we write equal, and then class name and parenthesis. So this particular statement will create object or instance of the class. So stud is one of the objects of the class. Then we are calling function of the class, and to call member function we write object and then we use dot notation, and after dot we write member function to be called. So here we are calling take input member function. So control will go over here, and according to this particular member function it will ask user to enter name, then it will ask user to enter age, and it will assign age to this particular age attribute and name to this particular name attribute. And control will go over here, and the next statement will be executed. And next statement is we are calling display function of this particular object. So when we write stud dot display, control will go over here, and inside display we are printing value of student name, value of name, and then we are writing age, and we are printing value of age attribute. So when we run this code, it will ask user to enter name, it will ask user to enter age, and according to user input it will print student name, then name, whatever user will input, and then it will print age of the user. In this program we create only one object of the class. We can create multiple objects of the same class, and all objects of the same class have their own set of variables. In Python class we have one special method, and this method name is init, and this particular method is run by Python automatically whenever we create a new instance based on the class. This particular method is also known as constructor, and this particular init method has two leading underscores and two trailing underscores, so it must be used as it is. So here we have Python code with this init function. So class name is student, it starts with class keyword, then we put colon, then definition of this particular init function. So this init has two leading underscore, two trailing underscores, and inside parenthesis we pass parameters. So here we have three parameter. So first parameter must be self, right? And next parameter we have name, and next parameter we have age. Then parenthesis close, we put colon and definition of this init function. So here we are assigning name and age attribute of the class with these two parameter. So with this dot operator with self we are referring class attribute. So here name is attribute of class, and we are assigning to this attribute value of this particular parameter. So here name is parameter, and here this particular name is attribute of this particular class. So basically init function used to initialize the variable of the class. So here we are initializing two variables or two attributes of the class with name and age. So next we have display member function, and we are passing only one parameter over here, and this must be self, and then we put colon, and definition of this display function is to print value of this name attribute and age attribute. Then end of this particular class definition, and then we are creating object of student class. So object name is stud equal, and then we write class name, and inside parenthesis we are passing two parameter. So here we need to notice as we are passing two parameter because here this particular special method has these two parameter name and age. We don't need to pass this self parameter over here, as this particular self parameter is the reference to the instance, right? So here we need to pass value of these two parameters. So whenever we are creating object of this particular class, we need to pass two argument over here. So here first argument is winning and second argument is 10. So this first argument will be copied to name variable, and this particular 10 will be copied to this age variable. So here particular object creation we are doing, and at the time of object creation this particular init function will be invoked automatically by Python. So this particular winning will be copied to this name parameter, and this 10 will be copied to this particular age parameter, and we are assigning this name and age to class attributes name and age. So this particular statement will invoke this particular init function, then at the end of this it will go to this particular statement back, and then next statement will be executed. So next statement we are calling display member function. So to call this particular member function we are using dot notation, first object name, then dot, and then member function. So this particular statement will invoke this particular function, and according to this member function we are printing value of this name and age attribute. So when we run this code, output will be student name, value of this particular name attribute, and age is value of this particular age attribute. So according to this program you can get output. Hope this video is helpful to understand class and object concept of Python. If you have any doubt you can write me in the comment box, and thank you for watching this video till the end.